PricewaterhouseCoopers recently released a report stating that Nigeria should be the 13th largest economy in the world by 2050. To get a sense of how we're moving in that direction, we have Andrew Levy. He's the partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers in Nigeria. Andrew, it's great to have you in the show today. And you know, when I hear all these projections about Nigeria being the top 20, one of the top 20 economies, I think Citi said Nigeria will be the 6th largest by 2050. It's not exciting because we do know the potential of this market. But what I want to hear from you is your thoughts about how we're moving in that direction right now. What's your view?
Okay, thank you. Delighted to be here this morning. I mean, we do this every 2 years. 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, Nigeria was not on the map. We came this year and said, look, let's take a close look at it. And when we peeled it back, what we found out was, first, you know, Nigeria has the highest growth rate in the labor force in the world. Yeah. More than double any other country over this period. Now, I spent most of last year in Japan working on our report on the future of Japan. Japan's labor force has been shrinking since 1994. It's hard to grow when your labor force is not growing. Right. Nigeria has the fastest growth.
So that's key for Nigeria going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. But in addition, I mean, we all understand right now Nigeria's productivity is relatively low. As technology comes into Nigeria, as there's things developed here, that's increasing rapidly. And when you take these factors together, we just looked at the numbers, and this is going to be a very, very big economy. And you know, you say 2050 may not excite you. I mean, I was in China the first time in 1983. In 1983, there was not a single private car in China. Not one. And now it's the largest market for cars in the world. It's the largest producer of cars in the world. So over time, these effects are just enormous and change the whole balance of the sort of economic picture around the world.
When I say it doesn't excite me, it's like stating the obvious. We do know, given Nigeria's population, given Nigeria's GDP growth trajectory right now, even without any major changes in infrastructure, we're on the right path to being one of the largest economies. But what I want to hear from you is, from your engagement of the government, of the private sector in Nigeria right now, do you think we're doing the right things to make sure that we fulfill this potential?
Okay. Well, I think everyone who is in Nigeria is aware of the problems, and we could spend the whole time talking about all of those issues that we know well. Right. I think what's extraordinary about Nigeria is, despite all of these challenges, you have an economy that's moving very rapidly. And what's driving that? I mean, at a government level, you have at least 3 extraordinary individuals that are driving this forward. The governor of Lagos State, Governor Fashola, yes, has done an incredible job over his term.
And of course, the Lagos State is a key commercial hub.
Well, Lagos State, I mean, it's the largest city in sub-Saharan Africa. It has to be, in my view, I can't speak for PwC in South Africa, they may be different, but it has to be the financial center over time. You know, people come from the outside, they say, let's compare Kenya to Nigeria. In fact, the economy in Lagos is bigger than the economy in Kenya, if measured properly. So that's incredibly important. But one of the things that happens with Lagos is, because it's very well governed, other governors, we see when we work in other states that those states are looking to Lagos as a model, and it's driving them. So a governor in a state starts to do some things, and it's internally generated revenue, the roads programs improve, the schools are improved. Well, that puts pressure on the next governor in the next state, because his population there can see it too. So you have this synergistic effect, flywheel effect, that's starting to happen in the public sector that we see. But in addition to Governor Fashola, you've got 2 world-class people essentially running the economy. You've got the CBN governor, who was voted globally the governor of the year in 2010, respected around the world, and you have the finance minister, and both of them are driving reforms that are incredibly important. So I think from a government side, a lot of positive things are happening, and of course, probably the biggest single economic factor for success is reform of the power sector. Yeah. Because when there's affordable power, you know, everything happens, right? Every other industry can benefit from it. You're going to have manufacturing start to move here in a big way. Obviously, agriculture, mining, all of those sectors are going to be able to develop. So the power reforms are really key to that. The other thing that's happening is you're just getting this more and more Pan-Africa and West Africa integration. So yesterday, I was in Kinshasa. I was in the Congo with a Nigerian company that invested in the DRC, a significant investment in the DRC. Right. But not only that, I mean, I flew back on ASCII Airlines Very simple flight, short distance, short time now between Kinshasa and Lagos. A year ago, if you were in Kinshasa, to get back to Lagos, you would have had to fly to Nairobi, you would have had to fly to the Middle East,
So
or
we're
to
seeing
South
some
Africa.
integration.
So you see that integration too, and bit by bit, as each bit of the system works better, it helps other parts of the system work better. So from that viewpoint, I think we can be optimistic. I mean, there's always things that can go wrong, but you can see the flywheel effect starting to happen.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. If Nigeria grows, the other nations in Africa will also benefit from that. But